In Nancy's introduction to session 3, she talked about one of the results of this session would be to create a lot of disequilibrium in us. And I think that did happen. We walked away with a lot of questions. So we invited the panel to come down and talk a little bit more about what they were saying up on stage, and then also to address some of the questions that were on the blog site. Let's hear what they had to say.
One of the things that I want to talk about a little bit just for a second, we got an email right at the end of the panel, and I saw it, like my eye flashed to it, and it said, in my opinion, we are in a code red right now for the 18 to 30 somethings in our church, and because of the conversation we were in, we didn't have a chance to talk about it, but in my opinion, it's because I'm just barely in the 18 to 30 something range still, it's a crucial one, and I worked in student ministry for a long time, and so the kids that I knew when they were in high school are now in college and just coming out of college, and there's a striking and very scary similarity that I'm hearing with the young people that I know in Grand Rapids and the ones that I knew in Chicago and the ones, you know, I think people have asked Dan Kimball, you know, I saw that video about Santa Cruz, but I think that's just Santa Cruz. I think it's just those college kids, and I would say no. Grand Rapids is like basically the Bible Belt except like a little dip north. It's so heavily churched and so, in some ways, homogeneously Christian. And the people who I know who are not people of faith, who specifically are not Christians, have been given so many reasons to be really disappointed with the church as they see it. And so I would say maybe it's just California people. In my opinion, it's not. And sometimes the areas that are most heavily kind of affected by the church culturally, politically, in terms of just a societal thing, maybe the South and Grand Rapids for sure, the work that we have to do to undo some of the cultural messages is really difficult. What I have found, just informally in my relationships, is that my friends are much more open to serve alongside me a cause that we both care about. And there are a lot of those causes. My friends care about AIDS locally and globally. They care about homelessness. They care about politics and race and a lot of the things that I care about, and in some ways we care about them for different reasons, and in some ways we fall on different sides of those issues, and that's a really interesting conversation. But we serve together. They've been very open to read the things that I'm reading, or to listen to the music that I'm listening to, even if they're not willing to come into the church building. In a lot of ways I feel like that's sometimes been the door that's the hardest to walk through for them. And so I would say our work is almost entirely relational.